This is big breaking news. Multiple people have now fallen sick, saying they're, quote, deathly ill after visiting this, quote, BioLab that has been discovered in Las Vegas, Nevada. I broke this news to you guys a couple nights ago, and we have this big update here that multiple people in the community have actually become sick, and the FBI is even worried that there's been an exposure to several people in the community as well. So we don't even know exactly what this is, what they're sick with, what's going on, but it's being described as a, quote, biolab that, quote, smelled like a hospital. And they were using this thing as an Airbnb. So let's get into all the details here. You guys can see this is an article coming out of 8 News Now. It says several fall, quote, deathly ill from Las Vegas biolab. Tip leads FBI police to garage that smelled like a, quote, hospital. All right, this is absolutely disgusting. I mean, imagine renting an Airbnb, paying hundreds of dollars, maybe thousands of dollars. And they are saying that the garage was locked up and smelled like a, quote, hospital. They said it smelled, and you guys know what that smells like, where you can kind of smell bodily fluids and other things like that. It has a distinct smell. It's like bodily fluids mixed with like cleaner. It's not a good smell. And trust me, I was in the hospital, or I wasn't, but my wife was in the hospital for months last year, and that smell is like in my brain. And that would be just nasty, first of all, at a Airbnb, and then second of all, they reported it, and then you find out that it's a, quote, biolab. So this biolab is connected to the one in California previously, and the worst part is they were renting it out as a Airbnb and allowing people to stay there, and multiple people that stayed there got sick. So what did they get sick with? Why did they rent it out as an Airbnb? You would think that they would want to hide this as much as possible, but they were renting it out to people. Was this a plan to expose people in the community so there's a vector point where people can be exposed to this stuff? All right, I don't know. I don't know exactly what the plan is, but they're saying that this is a foreign run, quote, biolab in Las Vegas. So what's the motive here? And they were even saying previously that they didn't even see any profit motive. They weren't selling any of these things. They were just doing lots of weird experiments. And the previous lab in California was genetically altering mice and rodents to transmit and carry, potentially transmute the C19 disease. All right. So this is some wild stuff that's going on here. And now multiple people have become very sick. And you guys can see here, this was posted by Tom Cernowski, and he alleged that he found this document, all right, and he is saying that this is the document internally that they were spreading around. And you can see here it says Joint Task Force identified and secured an unauthorized laboratory facility in the southern Las Vegas metropolitan area. Preliminary assessments indicate the facility housed multiple biological agents exhibiting unusually high transmissibility. All right, that's an unusually high. Why? And they were genetically altering mice. How do they have the technology to genetically alter mice? That's like CRISPR gene editing or something along those lines. I don't know exactly what technology they had, but it's not good. They could be altering organisms, biologicals, bacteria, viruses, things like that. I'm not saying they are, but they could be trying to. Who knows? We don't know what their motive is right now. The origin, development pathway, and full characteristics of these agents remain undetermined at this time. While the situation is serious, leadership is advised that widespread public disclosure at this stage may pose a greater risk to public safety than benefit. I mean, it's too late. This was a document that allegedly went out, like about a week ago before all this happened, before it became public. It says this assessment is based on indicators that extensive community exposure likely occurred prior to site containment. It's not good. That is not what you want to hear. Key finding: the laboratory is not registered with any regulatory body. Documentation recovered on site is fragmented, encrypted, and intentionally destroyed. Multiple individuals associated with the facility remain unaccounted for. Environmental indicators suggest exposure beyond the facility occurred before discovery. No immediate evidence of intentional release has been confirmed. Public assessments. You can see here health consultants advise that a significant number of community members may have already been exposed through unknown vectors. At present, there's no verified data indicating widespread severe outcomes. Uncertainty remains due to the unidentified nature of the agents. Yeah, they don't even really know what people are getting sick with. Abrupt public disclosure, particularly language emphasizing unknown origin or high transmissibility, is assessed as likely to trigger mass panic, economic disruption, and preemptive strain on medical infrastructure. Such outcomes would complicate containment, investigation, and long-term response planning. Okay, so it's too late. This news, you can see here, 8 News now, this video is going viral. It's on YouTube as well. All right, it has 400,000 views almost that they posted, so it's a little too late for that, but it is concerning. So don't panic, but there are probably more biolabs around for sure, right? There's this warning here from Rep. Kevin Kiley. He issued another warning on these biolabs just earlier today. We'll get to that in just a second, but I wanted to show this video too. This is the video where they sent in a robot drone to initially assess this lab, and then people went in with like full hazmat gear and everything. Let's watch this for a second. Pretty wild footage, and this is the future. We're living it. You can see this robot like dog drone here that they're controlling. It was walking on 4 legs, and it has this extendable arm that can reach out and open doors and grab things. You can see, open this door. Pretty wild. It's good that they do have this technology, because they didn't want to expose anyone unnecessarily to anything, or there could be, who knows what's in there. All right, they weren't sure exactly what's going on, so they sent in this robo dog. All right, so you can see he's doing his work, he's clearing things out. They made sure nobody's in there, and then they send in SWAT teams, SWAT units, wearing hazmat gear, mind you. Pretty wild. You don't really see that every. It's kind of hard to see, but you can tell they have like white hazmat gear on, and you'll see that more in a second, with the riot shields and gas masks on and everything. So they weren't just going to run in there unprotected in multiple ways. All right, they also have the drone footage here. This was a massive operation. This raiding of this biolab here, very serious national security issue. You can see the drone's video and another drone, more video inside the house from the dog, and you can see them in the full hazmat gear here. So this is what they're wearing, the white with the respirators, because this is serious. They don't want to be infected with any of this stuff. They don't know what it is. And this guy previously, I don't know how he was allowed to just keep running these biolabs. I think there's a group of people, but there's been this one main guy that's been arrested in connection to these. And the previous one in California that they busted had Nipah virus, had Ebola. What are the other ones? A couple other ones that were pretty wild and out there. How do they even get this stuff? How do you get this stuff? You tell me. Where are they getting these sources from, these samples from, to even source this biological material? Where do they even get this stuff from? That's what I don't understand. Is it being shipped in from overseas? Is it being brought in over the border? Who knows? Like, where's this stuff coming from? We've seen this previously with certain universities where certain university students, lab students, they will smuggle in biological materials through the mail. So maybe they shipped it in, and a lot of times they get caught with border customs inspecting these packages. All right. See, look at these vials. Weird stuff. Maybe, who knows what's in it? Red stuff. Hopefully it's not what we think it is, but it probably is. And whose bodily fluids are these? So, I mean, where are they getting this stuff? It's pretty bad when you think about it. Pretty gross, especially thinking that you could have stayed here at an Airbnb. I always think about this with restaurants. If you've seen some of these shows, like what is it called? The Kitchen Nightmares, where sometimes the back of the kitchen looks like this for the restaurant you're eating at. There's a bunch of slop and there's a bunch of goop and a bunch of stuff running out the freezer, running onto the ground, and raw food on top of cooked food, all this stuff. That's something I'm always worried about, but I never thought about it happening at an Airbnb, a BioLab at an Airbnb. That's definitely a new fear unlocked here. Nothing to really be scared of, right? You don't have to be scared of this. Don't panic. But it is concerning, all right? Especially if you're in the Las Vegas area, you're in this residential area. I don't know. I would be extra careful. I mean, you can see they're not taking any chances, and I'm not sure why the entire neighborhood isn't honestly like evacuated or something while they're doing this, because it seems like the homes are pretty close together, honestly. I mean, it seems like a residential neighborhood. You can see here, Las Vegas. I mean, the homes are not far apart. And yeah, there's sidewalks right there, roads. I mean, they're in the middle of the road, decontaminating. You saw them stepping on that stuff there to decontaminate their feet. I mean, they're doing this in the middle of the road. And there's I mean, look at these houses. Look how close they are. I don't know. This one is, I don't have a good feeling about this one. And just in general, that there could be a lot more of these just throughout the country. Like almost every major city, we could have these weird experimental, quote, biolabs popping up. All right. And that's what we had this congressman, Kevin Kiley, he was warning of it just a couple of days ago. But look how close these homes are. I don't know. It's not really looking good. I think they should evacuate the homes surrounding it, at least, within a certain radius. Maybe they did. I'm not sure. They've been kind of low on details for this. It's kind of been dripping out because it is concerning and they don't want people to freak out or anything about this. You guys can also hear here, this is Rep. Kevin Kiley. He just made this announcement today in Congress. Let's listen to this. He made an announcement a couple days ago, but this is a new one from today.
I rise today to call for Congress to act with urgency to address the alarming news that we have just heard from Las Vegas of the discovery of yet another illegal, dangerous biolab run by Chinese nationals. In 2023, when the secret lab in Reedley, California came to light, thanks to the tremendous efforts of local officials there, I gave several speeches on this floor calling attention to the danger this posed to all Americans. I noted that we don't know how many similar such labs might be out there. After I requested an investigation, the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party reached a similar conclusion, that we don't know what other such labs might be out there. Well, unfortunately, it turned out to be true that we had reason for concern, because the lab that was just discovered in Las Vegas is run by the same individuals, but in the same sham LLC as the one that was uncovered in Reedley. What's more, officials described there materials and equipment that are consistent with the operation that was going on in Reedley. Commercial grade freezers and refrigerators, equipment for processing biological materials, thousands of vials, which are now under examination from the FBI. In Reedley, the pathogens that were discovered included E. coli, Ebola, malaria, HIV, tuberculosis, and we have every reason to believe that these same dangerous pathogens have been found in this latest Las Vegas lab. But the question still remains, Mr. Speaker, how many other such labs are out there? As my colleague from Fresno, Mr. Costa, just said on this floor, many local communities simply don't have the ability to uncover these things on their own. That's why we need a national framework. We need national resources. We need more national oversight. And that's precisely what my bill, co-authored together with Mr. Costa, a bipartisan bill, will do. So I'm calling today for an immediate markup of this legislation so we can get it passed through the House, signed into law, and protect our communities.
All right, so you heard that there. That was Rep. Kevin Kiley coming out of California. He was blowing the whistle on this California one a few years ago. I think it was late 2022, maybe it was early 2023 when that one was discovered. So there could be more of these. Let's hope there isn't, but we really don't know. This one was used as a Airbnb. You can see here it says Ori Solomon. This is the suspect, 55, faces a felony charge of disposing or discharging hazardous waste, according to state records. The 8 News Now investigator first reported late Monday federal prosecutors filed paperwork to charge Solomon on a gun charge as well too. The LLC tied to the Holmes County records matches the name of a company that is part of an ongoing federal case in California involving a biological laboratory there. In that case, a Chinese citizen with potential ties to the Chinese Communist Party, David He, faces federal charges for allegedly manufacturing and distributing misbranded medical devices at a warehouse in Reedley, California, according to federal prosecutors. All right. And they try to get him on these other charges too, because it's hard to prove. They don't even know what's in this stuff, so they don't really know. It could be Kool-Aid in the vials, for all we know. It's probably not, but they don't know exactly, so they try to just charge him with something that they know is solid right now, like this gun charge or disposing hazardous waste. All right, so they'll probably add more things on as they discover exactly what he was doing. It says in early January, the FBI received a tip about lab equipment. So this happened pretty quickly, all within a couple of weeks. They received a tip about lab equipment and medical waste at the Sugar Spring Drive home, consistent with the BioLab in California, document said. The tipster said Solomon contacted a house cleaner to clean the home, which is also a short-term rental. During a news conference on Monday, Metro Police and the FBI shared video from the garage showing officers seizing vials of liquid and rummaging through refrigerators. That was the video I just showed you guys. Another person inside the home reported the garage was always locked. A person also reported to investigators that the garage contained 3 refrigerators and that the room smelled like a, quote, hospital. Not like a clean hospital, but more a foul, stale, stagnant air smell. Several days after entering the garage, 2 people became, quote, deathly ill and they could not get out of bed. A tipster also told police the house contained, quote, many dead crickets and several people had gotten sick. So something's up. They need to shut this stuff down. All right. It says on January 9th, the FBI contacted a person with the Southern Nevada Health District about a facility on Charleston Boulevard where, quote, medical equipment was allegedly stored but never found. The investigation led the SNHD to find a possible connection between the equipment and the Reedley BioLab. The state received an application for the lab in April 2023, Police suspect the equipment in the Sugar Spring home was moved from the closed Charleston lab. Right, so they're moving this stuff around different states, different cities. It says his wife, Zhao Yan Wang, left the United States for China amid the federal prosecution of her husband. However, police suspect Wang has access to cameras monitoring the Sugar Spring Drive home. He has remained in federal custody since his arrest. In January, he contacted Solomon 467 times and his wife 3,524 times, documents say. According to investigators, he instructed Solomon to manage his properties and transfer money to him while awaiting trial. So she's back in China and still in close coordination with these biolabs, and they think she's even monitoring them and still interacting and a part of it. It says in the Reedley case, investigators located, quote, pathogen labeled containers with such labels as, quote, dengue fever, HIV, and malaria, along with 1,000 mice, according to federal reports. Police detained Solomon after the Las Vegas raid, charging him with violating hazardous waste laws. The charges connected to the improper storage and disposal of hydrochloric acid. See, they got him on the hydrochloric acid. They didn't even get him on any of this stuff yet. So Solomon, who prosecutors say was in the United States on a non-immigrant visa and, quote, knowingly possessed several firearms, including rifles and handguns. His immigration status prevents him from owning any firearms. State and county records identify Solomon's last name as Solomon, while federal prosecutors also refer to him as Solomon with an A. All right, so how did he get these firearms? That's what I want to know. I mean, if he can't buy them, then how did he get them? How did he pass background checks and all that stuff to even get them if he can't get them? That's definitely a red flag concerning Solomon, who records indicate has lived in Clark County for decades, remained detained as of Tuesday morning. He made a brief appearance in federal court on Tuesday where a judge delayed his initial proceedings until Friday. Samples from the home are undergoing testing. So that's what's going on. Let me know what you guys think is happening. Definitely just doesn't seem right, right? And I'm worried there could be a lot more of these things, even stuff that's not connected to these current labs at all. Totally different people, organizations, everything. And there could be more. So let me know what you guys think down below. Hope you guys are staying safe, staying prepared, staying stocked up. Hope you have big blessings for your wife and your family. And I hope you have a big old blessed day.